Last week, in our first episode of 2021, we began to cut and seal Meraai's new floor.
Well, love, you haven't been here for a couple of weeks. What's the difference?
It's yellow.
Meraai also received a few visitors over the festive season.
Dit is nou Meraai. Uiteindelik ontmoet jy nou vir
Wat
Meraai.
kom waar?
Dis die groot vraag, wat kom waar?
This week we continue installing the new floor and we learn some surprising facts regarding welding. Yep, you heard me right, welding. "2021 is in full swing at East Coast Scratch and Dent. During one of my morning visits to the guys, I was reminded of just how far we have come."
And here we have 15 weeks ago's worth of stuff. So weird looking at all of this and seeing the seats. We've got the partition that used to be between the driver's cab and the passenger section of the bus. And then over here, these are used to be the shelves that ran along the length of the top of the bus. And now it's all just lying there in one big heap waiting to go to scrap. We've come a long way. When I look at this, we've come a long way.
We stripped Meraai and now we will build her up. Meraai's 500 kilogram heart lies in readiness to fire up when the time is right. The day we test her ADE engine is not too far off. Our little bus's rebuild is officially underway with the installation of her new floor. Rocky's been hard at work, cutting, grinding, and he's going to secure these plates to the chassis. And all of this that you see behind me has been sealed with this yellow epoxy underneath. So the next stage would be to seal the top section and then to weld it in place. So just how strong will Meraai's new floor constructed out of a thinner steel be?
I was a bit concerned that when you push on this at the moment or on the sides here, it gives a bit.
But Rocky explained to me that once this is tacked in place, it'll be very solid and very rigid and you won't have that movement. And plus on top of this we are going to put flooring of some sort. That will be when we get to the interior design. Rocky begins the installation by drilling hundreds of holes in the steel floor. Rocky's busy drilling the holes for the welding to put the floor in place. And what he does is he first does it with quite a smaller drill bit, then with a bigger drill bit. And he just showed me the size of the hole. And when it's welded, that is going to form a really tight bond between the steel and the chassis. It is not long before the first holes are drilled and ready for the next stage. Rocky's now finished doing one line of the bigger diameter hole, and the next step is to start with the welding. There's an incredible amount of labor that goes into this back-breaking stuff. I mean, if I just think about standing bent over like that, my back is going to say bye-bye. My knowledge of welding is on par with my algebra, extremely restricted. I need to find out how this all works.
Why the gas? I'm used to seeing that box with the rods. Is it a different system or?
No, that's arc welding.
Okay.
This is MIG welding.
Sorry, what welding?
MIG welding.
Big.
MIG.
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 Okay.
It's shielded gas welding basically. It doesn't catch. If you know, like with arc welding, if you don't do it right, it'll catch.
Okay.
Just makes the process longer. You can do it with arc, but this is just easier and faster.
Yeah, interesting. I decide to do a bit of research to find out when and how welding began. Until the end of the 19th century, the only form of welding was forge welding. And what that entailed is that these guys had to go and make a braai, like a big braai, with a lot of wood, like a really big braai, so it was like hot. Then, take your piece of iron, beat it in water, fire, beat, water, fire, again and again, until the stuff joined. So, that's actually where braaiing originated from. So the welders were busy like gooiing their stuff to make a weld, and they discovered a braai because they just put a bit of meat on. I mean, it got burnt, but it was a braai. What Rocky's doing is a hell of a lot easier. As they say, knowledge is power. At last we begin with the final stages of welding Merai's floor into place. So there we have the first welds of Merai's new floor. It really is exciting to know that we are on our way with our build from bus to motorhome. Meraai is getting more beautiful by the day. So when I arrived at East Coast Scratch and Dent today, I noticed another Merc has pulled up next to Meraai, who's also a Merc. But I think Meraai is much prettier, much prettier. I was convinced that in the next few days, Merai's floor would be in place. However, as I have come to learn, this is a learning curve for all of us. It is Friday, so I've only got a couple more days before I need to edit this to get my next episode out. But I was chatting to Bram, and he suggested now before we carry on installing the floor, we actually need to put the tires on the vehicle that we are going to live with. And we need to do that to make sure we got enough clearance between the top of the tire and the new floor. Because it'll be a bit of a bummer if we put the floor in and then we get these tires and pay a lot of money for them and they're too close. So it looks like next mission is going to be tires. Next week we will hopefully have some new shoes for Meraai. If not, we will probably continue with the floor installation where possible. Remember to like us on Facebook and subscribe to our channel on YouTube. We are also on Twitter. You will find us under A Dream Called Meraai. Until next time, keep safe and keep your dreams alive.